So my name is Carmen Dawson, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania, and I, over the last 5 years of being in business, had tried to figure out a way that, as an entrepreneur, as a community person, I could be transformational. I tried to focus on using my entrepreneurial spirit to help disenfranchised groups. So through that, I started developing workforce programs and entrepreneurship programs. And my programs quickly evolved into, what are the best tools out there to help me educate, to help me mentor, to help me assess, to help me track, to help me go and get funds. So I started figuring out all these things required to empower the individual to achieve their goals with work or entrepreneurship. And, so Rich over here from Aries Technology is kind of the front end of the advanced solution. And what they provide is interactive curriculum, video content, audio content. They have a learning management system called a universal learning environment where individuals can be pre and post tested. So in science, technology, engineering, and math and entrepreneurship, we are touting that we're the first system in the world to be able to offer all those particular technologies in a system that remediates and basically empowers the learner. So we have this basic virtual school on the front end and all these amazing information technology services that schools are being approached to today. But at the end of the day, how do we tech enable these learners if there's limited bandwidth because of a rural designation or an urban designation? So as being a solutions provider, I tried to figure out, it's great to have all these great information technology services, interactive curriculum, but if a school district doesn't have the bandwidth, or a school doesn't have the bandwidth needed to bring all these services in, then we're pretty much shot in the water. So I was fortunate enough, Rich came in from Arizona, and we have Josh Yates from Utah. And both of those are different partners on the opposite end of the solution that we're bringing to school districts. But with that, Josh is going to tell you about a patented technology that differentiates itself from all other technology vendors that I feel will provide a low-cost and a tech-enabling solution. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Josh Yates, Fat Pipe.
Hello everyone, I'm Josh with Fat Pipe Networks. Thank you very much, Carmen, for the introduction. Actually, before I really get started, I want to do a quick video that our company's put together kind of as an advertising piece.
You might have to use your sounds.
No.
Introducing the world's most advanced, mission-critical, wide-area network devices. Security appliances that provide network reliability via failover redundancy. A level of reliability exceeding 99.99988%. With over 5,000 of these devices sold globally and trusted by many Fortune 1000 companies, government institutions, the United States Supreme Court, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Counterterrorism Task Force, and 14 of the top 100 law firms in the U.S., protected by 6 patents known as router clustering. These devices combine multiple data lines from any combination of connection type or ISP. In essence, this combination of traditionally isolated internet or data connections results in a highly reliable and higher speed network. Many pipes now become one fat pipe. We are Fat Pipe Networks. And in addition to the obvious benefits of bandwidth, our Fat Pipe devices provide an essential safety net to your network connectivity. When one pipe fails, traffic is automatically diverted to the available lines. Reliability, redundancy, failover, load balancing, business continuity for extreme availability and uptime all the time. Fat Pipe Networks.
That was impressive. Really.
It's a good video, you know, I'd love to take some kind of credit for it, but it's not us. Now, to be funny for just a second, how many of you guys came because Fat Pipe Networks, the name, was intriguing and you wanted to know about it and know about what we do?
Absolutely.
We absolutely have a great branded name. We have a great company. Realistically, I am here because we provide a great solution for school districts, and especially working with Pennsylvania in general. That is my specific territory. That's the area that I work with. I've run into a lot of situations running into rural areas where school districts don't have the availability to bring in the bandwidth to run the applications that they need for their business or for their school, for their programs that they'd like to do. That's actually what brought Carmen and I together. Carmen was online as a reso, looking at different information. He and I were able to make contact together and developed a relationship, finding that we can be solutions for each other, which also brought us to Aries Technology. Looking at what type of applications that they're doing online, what they're providing for students to bring students back into education, get them more involved. I know I don't need to tell you this, but I know that there are so many students that are losing interest in school, not just because they're falling behind and not able to stay connected, but also because they're further advanced than some of their counterparts in school. Some of the students that don't want to learn as much or aren't as involved, and so teachers are teaching down to students and leaving some of the better students out. Aries Technology comes in and provides solutions for all students across all different learning types and availabilities. The problem is that now they are hamstrung by their ability to access this technology. Online learning is becoming more and more prevalent, more and more dominant, and more beneficial in schools. But what happens when you go from 100 students to 1,000 students in a building, all trying to access bandwidth-intensive programs, and now they're slowing down, now they're getting frustrated because they don't have the patience because they're 5 to 15 years old and don't want to wait for their programs to load to be able to use those different programs, and they get frustrated with that as well. So I believe that's where Carmen and I have come in with Aries Technology to introduce you to Fat Pipe Networks. We are a worldwide company. The video is actually a little bit old. We now have 7 patents, but those 7 patents essentially get us down to what is called router clustering technology. Now, I understand we have a bunch of different teachers in the room here. How many of you have an interest in information technology? Okay. How many of you are familiar with data connections, wide area network, and incorporating that into your network? I don't want to be over people's heads, but I don't want to be talking down, so my apologies. Kind of got a wide range of people. When you start talking about data connections, most schools, especially in Pennsylvania, they will pull their internet or their public internet from the IU. Every school district's a little bit different. Some have public internet through themselves. Even some schools will pull public internet through themselves with a firewall. And then you have private connections between the schools and the school districts. Now, one of the problems that is associated with having public data connections is how do you access it? How much bandwidth are you getting from those data connections? And what happens if that data connection goes down? How many of you use internet on a